All right, so here we are for a IndyCar race, fixed setup, oval track at Michigan International Speedway. Looks like I am 20th in class, so not necessarily expecting to do particularly well, but just kind of here to have fun with the race. I'm not really as bothered about my oval I rating as I am my road I rating. The majority of the racing that I do is road. Really here on oval just to have some fun, learn a little bit more about how the IndyCar handles on ovals, and yeah, just generally have a good time. So the main thing I'm worried about is the safety rating. Obviously the higher your safety rating, you move up license classes, and then you can compete in more races. So I'd like to see...
The track temperature's rising. It's now 117 Fahrenheit.
Thank you, Jim. I'd like to see my safety rating be above 3 by the end of the season so that I can be promoted to B class. But I'm going to go out and qualify. We'll just jump in straight away. No point in waiting. All right, and here we go. So 2 laps to qualify. Let's head straight out.
Pit exit's clear. Stay behind the white line. Okay, Dave, we've got 2 laps to set a decent time.
We sure do. So the one thing I've been really working on with this IndyCar is getting it on that perfect balance between oversteer and understeer. Been using the weight jacker for that. So right now I've got it set to +8, pretty oversteer biased. But this track is pretty heavy on those. It's feeling a little loose. I'm going to lower it down to 6. But let's go for our first lap. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm just going to straight line from the start-finish line to the turn-in point for turn 1. And turn in, minimal steering angle. Carry as much speed as possible while still taking a good racing line. And just want to brush the wall on the exit. Carry it close to the wall, straight line it, and then optimize the turn in for turn 3. Turn 3, you don't come quite all the way down. It's quicker to just stay here. Exit of that corner is where the car gets a little loose, and this is going to be our fastest lap, so we'll see what kind of time we get. 32.71, not ideal, but okay.
P3, you've just done a 32.7.
It's P3 only because other people haven't set a time yet. It's definitely not going to be P3 at the flag. Going to lower the weight jacker another click. Car's starting to step out a little bit. So this is what you do with the weight jacker in this car is as you feel the rear end start to step out, you dial a little bit negative. Or if it's a track where the car tends to become understeery over time, then you dial it more positive to move weight towards the front end.
New fastest lap for Mashkowski, 32.7.
All right. So that's qualifying. It's over in a flash. Let's keep an eye on our standing down to P7. Still, I'd be quite happy to be in the top half of the field, given that I'm basically bottom of the I rating ladder, but I don't expect to, obviously. Yep, down to 8th. So that was a pretty good qualifying session. I think I could have maximized it a little more if I wasn't talking so much, but at the same time, there are people going slower than me, and it's typically, unless you make a mistake on your first lap, typically pretty difficult to go faster on your second lap. So I'm not expecting too many people to improve. But yeah, 9 out of 21 so far, so it's looking good on that front. Oh, sorry, that's not my pit person, is it? I drove past them already, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Well, that's all right. It's going to be, I think it's based off of car number right now, but it's going to be based off of qualifying position, so yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Oh yeah, they were right there, of course, because I'm car number. Oh no, that was me. Because it's right, my car number's 20, not 55. Why didn't I see them in game? That was very strange. They should have lowered that arm down to show me that was my spot. Anyway, as long as I don't make that mistake during the race. Should be a one-stop race, all things being equal. Possibly 2. It's a 60-lap race, and I think it's like 29 laps on a tank of fuel. It's certainly not more than 30. But there are going to be cautions. It's It's just the reality of this series is that there are cautions, and so you fuel save during those periods, and But yeah, the fuel window won't open up until the middle of the race. So now, on the other hand, it can actually be worth the time if everyone's boxing to go ahead and box with them, because then you're on a fresh set of tires. Otherwise you're a tenth or two slower a lap. So it can be worth it to, lose the time theoretically by pitting, but then, if you're behind the pace car, then everyone's queued up anyway. And yeah, maybe you lose a few places, maybe you lose 10 places, but then if you're in a better position on better tires, then you can make up a lot of ground on the first couple of green flag laps. So we'll just play it by ear. I'm not looking to win. I'm not even looking to necessarily do that well. I don't care about iRating. I just want to have a good race. I tend not to be too competitive caring about results on the public iRacing side. I do a lot more league racing these days than I used to, and that's typically where I try to be a little bit more competitive. But at the same time, I like to kind of cooperate with other people and talk setups, talk lap times and corner approaches and stuff. So even then, I tend not to be that competitive
That's the end of the session. P9.
All right, P9. Happy with that. I mean, obviously some people didn't qualify, but hey, what are you going to do? All right, let's gear it up. Now, one thing about my wheel is that I have buttons bound for the weight jacker, but because of that, I don't have buttons bound for the fuel, so I have to manually go down to map 8 under the pace car and on the formation lap like we are now, and then manually raise it to map 1 when we're going back to green flag racing. But it's just part of the game for me. I see the guy next to me has a Fernando Alonso helmet. That's a good sign. And you can probably see in my mirror there that I have a Apollo Racing Club livery. It's just a black livery, and I wrote Apollo Racing Club on it in red lettering, as well as our URL. Just kind of advertising our club to anyone who might see one of us racing and think, hey, these guys race nicely. I'd like to go join their league. Not expecting too much of that on the oval side. The road side is where I have it kind of emblazoned on the rear bumper, and people following behind me can say, hey, this guy's really slow, but he's in a club, so maybe I'll join so I can beat him. Part of the fuel saving strategy here is that there are going to be people who don't join until the very last second, so I prefer to sit in the car waiting as opposed to sitting on the page. Quite comfortable in the car here in virtual reality. Yeah, if we look on the relative, I'm sure we can see that there are
60 laps. The air temp is 78 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, we're still missing P3, and looks like that's about it, perhaps. But
follow car number 3 in the inside lane.
Here we go. Remember to set the pit lane limiter for our pit lane start. Some people are going to warm the tires. I'm not going to bother. The colder tires, albeit a little bit scary, are also slightly faster. So I'm going to go ahead and set the weight jacker now to what it should be for the start, which is going to be +3. I'm going to be a little bit conservative. Is that the 3 car? Put on my relative. It is, yeah. He's just staying very inside, apparently, which is fine. All right, 1 to green. I got to remember to set my fuel. I'll just do it now. Not too bothered about the fuel saving. And we'll go over to the relative. I usually don't look at it that much during the race, just looking out the cockpit and the mirrors are what I go for, but it can be useful to have it, like if you're coming out of the pits, it can be useful to know someone's going to be there. So let's see how we go. Let's see how many laps we get in before the caution. Once the pace car goes in, waiting for the leader to go and going when he does. I'm usually a pretty bad starter on oval. people anticipate more than I do, so I expect to lose some positions.
Green, let's go, let's go.
Yeah, see there, everyone else clocked that he was starting long before I did. Yep, rear end stepping out a little bit, so this is...
Pace car is out. We're under caution.
So I did make contact there. It's going to be in my best interest to pit as soon as I can. Let me go down to map 8, save fuel. I don't think we have fast repairs in this series. Pit lane is closed. Past the 19 car, I missed that. Now it's catch the 3 car. Gonna take fuel, and I'm gonna not take tires. I am gonna box though if I can, just to get the damage fixed. There's no way I'm gonna be at top speed after a hit like that. I think it would have been in my best interest to get on the brakes a little bit, or just try to move over more to avoid it, but from where I was, it seemed like the wreck was relatively well contained, but some other people got caught up in it, and that's what ended up catching me out. Pit lane is open, so I'm going to box and get this damage fixed. And then we'll take the race from there for what it is.
Look out for the pit speed limit. Pit lane speed limit is 55 miles per hour. We'll need to stop again to get to the end.
Yeah, we sure will. Alright, fuel, no tires. There's my guy. Too far forward, damn it. Alright, so quite a bit of repairs. I'll just join the back of the field. It's going to be worth it to take those optionals to be on pace, so... You know what, since we have the time, I will change the tires. Actually, no, it seems to be adding time to do that. So restart the engine once we're at about 5 seconds to go. Six, 5, 2, 1. Oh yeah, helps to put it in gear. Catch the 14 car. They are 15 seconds ahead. Dial the weight jacker down so I don't make a mistake here on pit exit. Nine seconds, 8 seconds, 7 seconds, 6, 5, 4. They're gonna pop in here at some point.
All right, Dave, get ready. Race will resume at the end of this lap.
All right. So we'll just remember to dial it back down to map 1 for the green flag. Damage is repaired. Tank is full. So obviously we've lost a lot of positions, but I don't think I went a lap down there, so that's really what matters. I am still battling with all of this pack, so still in the game, got the damage fixed, just lost some positions, and slightly ahead on fuel from everybody else, so everything's still to play for. All is not lost. After that crash, the main thing that helped us there was that the damage it wasn't even a meatball flag, a black and orange flag. It was just A little bit of aero damage, maybe the wheel got a little bit bent, but nothing.
Okay, Dave, be ready. We're going green.
Nothing terminal, and it was drivable, so I could bring it around. Okay, let me find the car. Go up to map 1 now. It's hard to judge because I don't have too many cars loaded in at once. Hard to judge exactly where the leader is. I'll bring my relative back up.
Green flag.
Last race I did, I made a mistake of passing underneath before the start-finish line, which is an automatic black flag.
B16.
Let's see how the handling is. That's pretty well balanced. Yeah, definitely getting some aero push there. That's to be expected.
That's a new fastest lap for Hart, 34.0. Good
Dial in a
lap.
little
That's
bit
your
of
quickest
oversteer.
today. The guy ahead's lap time is 34.3.
Try to get a better exit here. Oh, car sliding around a little. Yeah, gonna have to dial that back out. Wasn't worth it. Now in a race like this, I may well gain position just by staying on the lead lap and finishing the race.
The leader has just done a 33.1.
It's going to be hard to
Good
gain
lap.
position
That's your quickest
here.
so far. The guy ahead has just done a 33.0. The guy behind has just done a 33.1.
Alright, so he's not catching up. And I seem to just be running single file in this pack here. Not really much of a chance to overtake. I would have to make the handling a lot more aggressive than I would like right now, so I think I'll just stay in position for now and see what comes of it. Still 53 laps left to go. Try to get a good exit here. Yep, I've drawn a little bit closer to him. Julio in front here. But aero push is where I'm going to lose all this time. Yep, it's just so hard to get the car turned in. I'm really understeering. I'm having a lift just to not hit the outside wall, so that's where I'm losing the time following, is in turns 3 and 4 there.
Gonzalez is now leading.
Good for him. Or her, or them. Yeah, this is tough.
th place.
But it seems to be tough for everybody at least, so at least it's not just something I'm doing wrong. This is already more
That's your
consecutive.
best lap in this session. The car
Green.
ahead has just done a 32.8.
I'm sure they have. This is already more consecutive green flag running than I had in any of the races that I did before here at Michigan. Yep, he's gonna be pushing because of the
Hold your line.
understeer.
You're clear high.
So that gives me a chance to dive underneath and use that clean air to get a better turn in.
Okay, Dave, we're matching race pace. P15.
Yeah, got a good run on this guy.
Car high. Still there. Still there. You're clear outside.
Good, couple of positions.
Pace car's out. We're under caution.
All right, good. I avoided that one. Let's bring the fuel mix down. All right, so that was a few laps of maybe, what, 8 or 9 of green flag, and made up a couple of positions, so can't argue with that. Pit window is not open yet. Still 49 laps to go. And as you can see from the fuel here, it says, well, 47 laps of fuel, but that's because we're going very slowly. As I recall, a tank is less than 30 laps. So, if it was entirely green flag running, it would be a 2-stop race, but there's no such thing on iRacing as entirely green flag running. Without that sense of self-preservation that people would have in real life, not wanting to have 220 mile an hour crashes. I have forgotten to turn voice chat on. I typically have it off for the league races because we use Discord chat, but I forgot to turn it on. I like to have it for the oval races so that as people are calling out the pace car, I can actually hear it. The pace car is moving at 50, 60 miles an hour, not actually sure which. There's no speedometer in this car. And of course, the normal running speed for the cars is about 210 to 220 miles an hour, so big speed difference. And if you don't know where the pace car is on track, when you meet the pack, if you're going 100, 150 mile an hour faster, you can easily have a big wreck. And yeah, you can see we're single file at this point. Unlike the start where we were double file, I was on the inside. Some folks pitting, I'm not going to. And again, this is a situation where it may be worth it to take more fuel, open up your fuel strategy, and take fresh tires to be on fresh tires. I'm going to see what happens if I don't, given that. I'm still on 14 gallons. I pitted, a couple laps into the race, so I have slightly fresher tires than those in front. And I feel good about my passing strategy when I'm in a pack of going to the low line early and getting a good run up the inside in the clean air. I want to see if I can use that to my advantage a little bit more coming up. I can leave a little bit more space here, I think, just to be safe. Be interesting to see coming across the line what position we're in. Or actually, no, it says here on my dash, P10. So top half of the field. Granted, I still have to stop, certainly at least once. But if there's anything I've learned from the Indy car races I have done in league, where there's a lot of yellow flag running, it's that often the best strategy is to wait to pit until you have to pit for fuel, because I've been in races that should have been a one-stop, but had so much yellow flag running that they ended up being a no-stop. And people who stayed out, the tire advantage didn't really matter, just because they were in the front. Okay, that's a phone call I'm getting. I don't recognize that number. Not going to pick up. Yeah, a little bit dangerous taking off my headset, but yeah, it's yellow flag running.
We're going green next time by.
Yeah, thank you, Jim. There's a slight chance I could get a phone call that I would have to take, in which case I would have to quit the race. A bit of a danger of doing this when I'm home alone is that I can't delegate tasks to my wife because I'm racing. So I tend to do the really serious stuff only at night, so that people don't call you at night, do they? And it would only be a genuine emergency that I would have to stop racing for. And I wouldn't, if the house were on fire or something, I wouldn't feel that bad about losing iRating or losing points in a league. So weeknights are when I tend to do most of the serious racing. Let me make sure I have windshield tear-off checked the next time I come in. Oh, I think it's auto-checked, so that's good. All right. Man, I really got to memorize where these tabs are. Going green, so I'm going to go to map 1 now before
Pace car's coming in, get ready.
Go over to the relative. Where am I? I'm at 0 on the weight checker.
Green, 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 let's go.
Yeah, people are trying to game it so that they pass right after the
E9.
start-finish line. I don't like that.
Gonzalez is now in the lead.
That's kind of a letter of the law, not the spirit of the law thing. I definitely don't approve of that.
Inside. Clear low. Car inside. Still there.
Yeah, I've boxed myself in a little bit here.
Hold your line. You're clear inside.
Yeah, it's a position. That was a bad move staying behind that car when I knew that guy was underneath.
P10.
You've got a car on the outside. Clear outside.
Well, this is fun. Freaking arrow push, man. That's a good maneuver by that
The
red
leader's
car.
just done a 32.8.
Gaining 2 positions there.
That was a 33.1.
Yeah, he's really not confident on the throttle, that blue and white car, and it's starting to cost me. Gotta get ahead of him.
On the outside. Hold your line.
That's the stuff.
You're clear outside.
Ah, okay, it's not the stuff. Gonna have to try that again.
You've got a car high. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line. Hold your line. You're clear high. Car high. Hold your line. Hold your line. Clear outside.
This is proving quite difficult.
Car high. Still there. Hold your line. Still there. Clear high.
P9.
I don't have arrow push. So hopefully I can pull away a little bit here. He's got arrow push in the corners, but he's got slipstream on the straights, so I'm just going to have to be flat in the corners and hope that that's enough to get me position. Yep, I am gaining time. I'm gaining time on him. This is good. Just going to continue to take the racing line and hope that I can keep ahead of
That
him.
last lap was a 32.7. That's your quickest
great.
lap in this session.
So I must have some amount of slipstream from the cars in front. Not enough to give me arrow push. That's perfect. That's exactly what I want. That guy's dead. He hit the wall. If that's a yellow flag, that helps me, brings me up to the pack in front instead of being stuck behind them or way behind them like I am. Yep, rear end starting to lose it, so dial down the weight jacker.
P8.
V8, top half of the field, this is good. Looking good for a good result if I can just keep this position.
Okay, Dave, the next car is Duran. Pace car's out.
Good, this is what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted. Brings me right up to that pack, gives me a chance to try and use some overtaking maneuvers on them. Yeah, now you can see we have 31 laps estimated fuel, 37 laps to go. That's more accurate. So it's still not accurate, but it's more accurate. So definitely another stop going to be needed unless we have a ridiculous amount of yellow flag. Basically, there's two reasons you save a lot of fuel under yellow flag. First is that you're not full on the throttle. So iRacing's fuel usage calculations are entirely based on throttle position, not engine RPM, not gear. your throttle. How much are you flooring it or not? And obviously, under safety car, unless you're being ridiculous, you have, you know, it's a very slight throttle or no throttle. So a lot of opportunity to save fuel. Yeah, people do this gamesmanship of like, am I going in the pits or not? I'm not.
The leader, Mashkowski, is pitting.
Now, they're probably right that they can get to the end on fuel from here. It's about the halfway point, so I think that's reasonable. But I just want to see what happens if I don't. I'm not really playing a win here. Who's the car behind me? Tim. Hello, Tim. Yeah, you can see it's lower iRating people who didn't pit, which I think tends to suggest that maybe they know I don't. But yeah, that's the time to pit as soon as you can. If you wait another lap, the field's way more bunched up, so you lose more positions by doing that. But I'm going to bank that there's going to be another caution. And I think if there's another caution, as long as it's kind of after the halfway point of the race, then at that point I'm going to box. But I mean, you can kind of do the math. We've gotten to lap 25 and barely used half of a tank of fuel. It's not unreasonable that this tank might last the whole race if we have the same rate of using cautions, although I did pit on lap 2 or so. So yeah, it kind of makes sense to box at this point and try and take, you know, that 18 gallons of fuel, 18 and a half to the end. I think I'm going to wait for the next caution. If there isn't one, then, well, that's my strategy gone. But if there is, then I'll box whenever that is, and it'll be interesting to lead from here. Gives me control of the restart, which is always fun, if a little bit nerve-wracking, so should be a good time. So 1 to green once we're across the line.
Alright Dave, get ready. Race will resume at the end of this lap.
Now, one thing that people learn, and I guess I could learn it by watching other races before I jump in, is exactly when the green flag will go automatically, so that you kind of know, you know, that you want to be going at or before that point if you're the leader. Because if you're prepared to go after, the green flag is going to catch you out, whereas it's not going to catch out people who know where it is. But as the leader, you have the advantage, because as long as the pace car's in, you can go whenever you want. So you can make that decision and get, you know, a tenth or two of jump on everybody. I'm gonna go up on fuel now. He's warming
Pace
the
car's
tires,
coming
which
in.
is
Be ready.
interesting. I've never seen that to be worth it in an Indy race or an oval race, because the tires are your most precious resource and you're just kind of wearing them for heat, which doesn't really matter too much.
Green flag, we're racing.
So I pretty much did exactly the moment of the green flag, which is good to know that that's when it is.
You're leading.
I can see that, Jim. Probably not going to be leading for long. Frame rate's bad. I hope the rear end isn't loose. There's a crash.
Pace car's out.
Go down on fuel. I said I would box on the next one, but I don't know. I'd like to wait for half distance, and I think I can safely bank on there being. being another caution. Sorry to not finish that sentence. I was concentrating on not being hit from behind. Ben, please chill, says Diego. There must be a Ben who has no chill. I haven't run across him that I know of. Should I do it? Should I do it? Should I do it? I mean, I'm in the lead. This is the best time to do it, right? Surely. Nah. Let's go. I mean, you know, let's have some fun. Yeah, no one else is going either, from the looks of it. So 2 to green. So we are going to be half distance by the time this caution period is over. Well, it's nice to be leading a lap. Hey, you know, in a league setting, even if it's under caution, this would be counting towards my laps led. The IndyCar league I'm in, we use the same as the IndyCar point system. So it's anyone who leads a lap gets a point, and then you get another point for leading the most laps, as well as a point for pole position and a point for the fastest lap. So for that reason alone, it can be beneficial to stay in the lead behind the pace car. If only I had water, this would be a great time to drink water. I'll just have to go without. But yeah, definitely the next caution, whenever it is, I'm going to go in and try and take fuel and tires to the end. Let me make sure fuel and tires are checked. Yeah, they both are. I'm happy with my wing. I'm not going to make any offsets. I'm not good enough for those adjustments to make a difference in my performance, quite frankly.
Pace car's in this lap.
Quite. Alright, so now I know where the green flag is going to go. Vaguely. I wasn't paying too much attention. But I'm going to go earlier than I think, just to give me that jump. Because when I went was exactly the green flag. I mean, maybe it was like half a tenth difference. But if I had gotten that a little bit wrong, then other people behind me would have known where the green flag was. And then they would have had a jump on me. And the whole point of allowing the leader to dictate the start, it gives them a little bit of an advantage, is because literally everyone else has slipstream, but as the leader you don't. So it gives you a little bit of a competitive advantage to keep things closer to fair. I'm not going to say exactly fair, because the slipstream is very powerful in these cars, but it evens things out more than it would be if it was just everyone waits for the green flag and goes with the green flag. So. All right, map 1. Go back over to the relative and get ready to go.
Okay, Dave, be ready. We're going green. Green, 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 let's go.
That was good. Yep, that was what I wanted to do.
You're halfway home. We estimate 16 laps of fuel remaining.
And you can see I got a little bit of a jump on everyone, which means I'm not going to have aero push in this corner. My rear end's getting loose. I'm going to adjust the weight jacker down another click. I was running a little bit high there on the exit. Got to remember to keep it a little tighter to the inside, take a shorter line.
You're in the lead.
You gain more time by taking a tighter inside line than you do, or than you lose by, you know, scrubbing off any speed. I mean, all I can do is keep it pinned and just hope that the aero push is more powerful than the slipstream. I don't think it will be. But, you know, that's kind of my only hope here in the lead. I don't have a pace advantage, certainly. I'm not good enough with the adjustments to get the absolute maximum out of the car. And yeah, I'm being caught here, but that's okay.
Your lap time was 32.7. The guy behind has just done a 32.6.
Yeah. The main thing is just not to crash if I do end up going side by side with people. I left a little bit of space there because I wasn't sure if he was going to go for it or not. You know, diving up the inside really early like I do to try and get a better run, in which case I didn't want to come across him. Yep, here he goes, he's going.
Car low. Still there. Hold your line.
He can have it, you know. Let someone
You're clear
else
inside.
let someone else have the burden of command. He's got to actually make a move stick before I can give him the lead, huh?
Got a car on the inside.
That's
Hold
it,
your line.
Yeah, he's probably got it.
Clear low. You've got a car low. Still there. Still there. Clear inside. Car low. Still there. Hold your line. Hold your line.
P2. Alright, Dave, your lap times are pretty consistent.
Clear inside.
Oh good, a lapped car. That may help one of us.
Inside.
He wants to squeeze me, he
Still
can
there.
squeeze me.
Pace car's out, we're under caution.
Who was ahead? Yeah, I was ahead. I said I would go for it. I said I would. Should I keep my promise? I am enjoying leading, but yeah, I think I gotta go. I think I gotta do it. May not make it 5 gallons of fuel till the next caution, so.
Watch your speed. Okay, we'll fill you to the end.
Good, and tires too. I'm gonna look very carefully. There's my guy. Ah! That's not helping matters. Pit exit is closed, I hope it opens by the time I'm ready to go. Good. Yep. So he got a jump on me there, but that's to be expected. The 6 car, is that red or green? Looks like green. Nah, it's the car directly in front of me. It's that guy. Alright, so I'm good to the end on fuel. Fresh tires. People are checking up. Well, that was some good racing there in that last green flag period with P2. I really enjoyed that, actually. That was a lot of fun. I'm going to enjoy watching that after the race. I hope to have other racing like that in the next...
Okay, Dave, get ready. Race will resume at the end of this lap.
In the next 20 laps. Let's see what position I'm in. 10th? Really? Oh, you know what? I'm I'm noticing the number of cars that are a lap down, so I guess that's the beauty of keeping it clean, relatively clean. Would have been even better if I hadn't had that issue at the start of the race. Oh, we lost Tim. Well, darn. I got damage past me on the outside on restart. Okay. That's 16, the blue car there, right? Yeah. I wish I could dictate chat. That feature's supposed to work with Crew Chief. Like, it makes sense that it would, because voice recognition is how the whole software works. But,
Heads up, prepare for green flag.
guess not. Anytime I try to do anything, it just says sorry. That's the only thing I can make him say is sorry. And I like to think there's not too many times when I would need to say sorry. So, not very useful. Unless I'm a particularly bad driver.
Green flag.
Inside clear.
Tenth position.
Genuinely thought I was going to arrow push into the wall there. Big lift. .1 seconds behind me the next car. That's great. It's a great margin.
You've just done a 34.2.
Yeah, having to do a lot of lifting here. I don't want to go positive on the weight jacker to balance it more towards understeer, because then as soon as I'm not in the slipstream, or not in the dirty air, then the car is just going to spin. Okay, these guys are seeming a little bit all over the place, so I'm just going to be patient.
Car low.
That lap was a 32.8.
Hold your line. Clear low. Outside.
That's the
Hold
beauty.
your line.
That is the beauty of clean
Clear
air.
high.
I love it.
On the outside. Clear high.
It's going to get a run at me, but I don't think it's going to be enough.
P8. That lap was a 33.1.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, slipstream.
There's a car on your inside.
You can have the inside if you want.
Hold your line.
P7.
Still there. Hold your line. Clear inside.
The car in front of us is now Duran.
Now this is the tricky part because I don't have a slipstream. Those guys are 2 seconds ahead. So this is where it gets tricky.
Laurent is leading the race.
This is just about normal clean air running now. Doing as well as I can. So there's going to be some more racing here, that's for sure.
There's a car on your inside.
Yeah, I didn't cover
Clear
that
low.
well enough.
Car low. Still there. Clear low.
At least I got a good exit. I am catching up to these cars actually. 1.6 now, that's good. That's real good. I gotta cover the inside
That lap
here.
time was 33.0.
That's a message from work.
Seventh position.
Alright, I'm making ground on the cars in front and the car behind is not catching me, so it's looking good. I wonder if I'm taking too
You're
much out of
matching
my
race
tires.
pace. Okay, Dave, you're reeling. Duran in. The gap is now 0.5.
Yeah, it was out of the wall. It was that lift of the wall. Lifting was the right choice. Thought I was going to go in there. So that was some ground lost. Let's see if I can make it up here. I've got to use his slipstream to stay ahead of the car behind.
Car high.
That lap time was 33.0.
You're clear outside.
Yeah, tires are starting to die. I think this is when I start losing ground because of tires.
P6, you've just done a 33.0. Okay, Dave, the next car is Mashkowski.
That's a pretty good pronunciation. He must go through and like look up, dictate individual names, which is impressive. Yeah, see, nowhere near the wall that time. That was much better. Gotta catch slipstream off of these guys. Hopefully this lap. I am further from them than the car behind me is to me.
That was a 32.6.
Big lift. Probably didn't need to lift that much actually. I'm just afraid of the wall.
Car inside.
It doesn't work for me.
Hold your line.
The other car took the high line.
Clear low.
P5.
Yep, that's my mistake there. Gave up too much speed. Try not to go wide into the wall. Not close enough to him.
Come on, Dave. Push, push, push. We can catch this car.
That's a good run. That's a good run. Come on. Let's go flat now. Yeah, we're catching him. We're catching him. This is great.
P5.
Ah. Oh, it's 2 laps to go, I'm just noticing. So the question is, do I
Race
worry
car
about...
is out. We're under caution.
Well, that's P5 then. That's going to be a yellow flag. It's going to be finishing under caution. There's not enough time to do a green-white checkered, so I think that's it. P5 across the line under pace car. P5, man. I said this is top split. I'm not actually sure this is top split, but I'm in the bottom of it. Diego seems to have done well too for a low rater like me, but I got to be happy with P5 when I'm 20th in class. That's a good day. Should I box? The notification from work, and wait a minute. Just have to do one more lap on the pace car. Now, wouldn't it be funny if I was crashed into from behind on the last lap under caution? We lost Pulio. How many people are down? A lap down. All right, so like 12th, 13th. It's an interesting noise. I think that's a Microsoft Teams message. Wasn't expecting that. Whew, well, I think that's the checkered. There it is. P5. That's a good day. That's a good day.
P5. Okay, that's the end. Good finish, mate. Well done.
Good